So the next step is kind of to get a list of addresses in here so we can start adding and manipulating the addresses for the single customer. Now, there's a lot of ways to do this. I decided to make kind of a component for this because I can see that as we move forward, adding addresses and working with addresses could be three different views, right? It could be when I create a customer, when I update a customer, and actually also it could be its own view just for addresses, an overview of all addresses and maybe editing the name of each address, stuff like that. So since we made this many-to-many relation of addresses, which is kind of overkill, but it's cool for me to kind of try and show you guys how you can make an address component and reuse it all over your code, right? So that's what we're going to do. And this is the address component that I'm going to try and build. Let me just try and zoom a bit here. I'm expecting something like this, just a list that shows all available addresses in the system, and you can remove an address or you can edit an address if you want to, or you can add a new address. That's kind of the idea for this component right here. Notice that would make sense even though I was in the update page, at the delete page, or the edit page, right? It would all make sense. Even if I was on the pure address page where I could see all addresses, that would make sense. Now when I click the add button, I'm thinking something like this where it'll change the view down in the bottom into something like this where you have maybe a small input field right here. When you start typing, you'll get all the addresses available, and you can actually just select an address, or you can put in just a name for a new address and press save, and the new address is created. And it will work a bit different depending on if you're a customer or if you're in the pure address view, but we'll have to figure that out. And this will be the last major thing we'll do in this series, and then we'll shut down the series. So from next lesson and onwards, we're going to try and actually start manipulating and working with addresses, creating a new address component that's kind of built for us to kind of have this address component inside the create customer and inside the update customer. So see you in the next lesson, we'll start working with this. Now you kind of know my goal is to try and figure this out. Let's see if we can do it. Have fun.